John's gone, so.
I'm glad we finally got him.
Coming to you all the way from Norfolk, Virginia, Go On Productions, earprov.com presents the Poetry Takeover with your hosts, Matt Holman, Patrick C. Taylor, and John C. Riley.
That's right. It's me, Patrick C. Taylor, and Matt Holman, and at some point,
John, who mysteriously vanished. Not mysteriously, he's having some technical issues right now. He also couldn't figure out how to take his Zoom out of speaker view.
Yeah, so that might be an issue. Oh wait, he just messaged me. He's actually in the middle of an Aboriginal walkabout right now, so that may have some issue with his connection.
That sounds like John right there. So welcome to the Poetry Takeover. I assume out there, everyone's cheering and clapping right now, so thank you very much. Oh, John is now with us. He is joining back in. Awesome. So this is the Poetry Takeover. We have put together some poets for you in order to go ahead and read. Usually at this point, we'd bring up other earprov stuff, but this is actually going to be one of the final earprov live streams, at least for right now. So we don't have any plugs for further earprov shows.
And some magic is going to happen because we have some amazing poets lined up tonight. I really love this collection of poets.
Yeah, I think you all out there are really going to enjoy this show. You know what? Let's just go ahead and get into it, right?
Well, first let's mention, are we taking donations?
Oh yeah, sorry.
We're not taking donations. We're receiving them to then usher them forward. Who's the recipient of the donations tonight?
I think it's just going to Push Comedy Theater, which is, while they have started doing some shows and everything, is still partially closed because of the pandemic. So please donate your hearts, your minds, your money.
Push Comedy Theater, Norfolk, Virginia. They teach improv and sketch comedy, stand up. They do storytelling. They do all sorts of wonderful things there. So please donate if you can.
Yeah, and so that is our cause. That's what we're going to tonight. You can go to earprov.com in order to donate, and please donate, and we will shout you out on the podcast, on the live stream. It's been a day, guys. John, how are you doing?
I was just stuck in a technology hole. I'm also wearing my bathing suit.
I know, yeah. You probably get, well, John is beach daddy canonically, and so you were just hanging out on the beach tonight, right?
I was. I was stuck in a technology hole. I'm afraid if I touch anything else, it's just gonna go to some sort of weird warp zone.
It's okay, John. We can see you and everything. So you're good. Just welcome.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing well, thanks.
Awesome. I think you should probably introduce our first poet here, John.
Oh, yes, I would like to. So our first poet, hailing from Lexington, South Carolina, is my mother, Ellen Connolly Wharton. Take it away. Take it away, Mom.
Okay. I have two poems to read. The first one is about a young woman who just had a fight with her husband. I am leaving now. Even if you follow me, we would walk nowhere together. Her hair was very dark, like a black cape. She walks outside now, panning for gold. The dishes spill from the sink, an unopened jar of peanut butter on the table. She passes through the kitchen, hardly noticing the clutter, the confusion of children. Let's pitch a tent and sleep outside tonight. She could be happy for days outside. It was humid, but she basks in the heat, soaking it in like a sponge, her brown legs so warm she almost purrs, and the cat jumps from her lap. She spends the morning planting figs. This next one is it's called All the Lights, and it's about loss. Thumping hard against the cement, I cannot run far enough. I remember he smiled with his face between his teeth. Now my sisters spin a sad song about their latest boyfriends. My father bought a gun, and my mother pretended to faint, but no one ran to catch her, and she fell in the driveway. Laziness has become an answer for me. I only ask to move my fingers in a bit of ink, dropping rhythm like seeds. I feel good when the story ends and everyone goes home happy after a good cry. But if you sit very still, you can feel your eyelashes brush your face. Your nose will itch, your eyes blink are heavy, and your fingers twitch. If you sit very still, you can hear children shouting rhymes, balls bouncing, traffic drones babies to sleep. You smell pine trees and you feel the night settle around you. Life is full of secret circles, holes in the sand, or a magician's sleeve, like death in slow motion. I'm tired of black moons and days full of gray rain. I'm not lonely dancing and singing off key in an empty house. I know the scent of the ocean, that wild, salty, vibrating air. Somewhere a body lies in a coffin pumped in flowers. Somewhere a poet catches lines between the sun on her shoulders. I am weak and weary, weird and wishful, worthwhile and wrinkled. Sunlight, moonlight, starlight. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ellen.
Sure.
Thank you. I really like the second one a lot. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that we have that snap sound effect that
Yes.
sounds like rain slamming into a tin roof.
Or golf balls.
Ooh, yeah. Or like, like when you go to the driving range and you see the poor person that has to drive that truck around
Yes.
and pick up the golf balls, and it's just like, boom, you're just seeing everyone just slamming golf balls into it.
I wanted that job for like
I
3
did too,
summers.
man.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun job.
That would have been a fun job. Thank you, Mom. Am I at a stage where I call my mom Ellen? Thank you, Ellen.
No, that's weird.
I felt that's weird.
A mutual friend of ours
I
calls
call
her
them.
parents by their first names, and it
Yeah.
always creeps me out.
Thank you. It's been cool having you on this the last couple months. Are we ready to move to our? We got a donation.
Yes, we did.
Nice. Who donated?
Eva Lorena Terror.
We love Eva.
Yeah, Eva is a phenomenal performer, phenomenal improv performer, and yeah, that's it.
A friend
Get
and just a
legend.
supporter. Yeah, thank you. Also, we also for can someone read that? Thank you.
Yes.
Please?
So we also have a $20 donation from Ellen Wharton fan 420.
Someone donated in your honor.
The classic parents, fans of people's parents, and also marijuana.
Two great things even better together.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to transition into our next poet?
I think so.
Sure.
Okay, and Matthew Holman, why don't you introduce?
I will. So our next poet is a good friend of mine. He is one of the smartest people I know, especially when it comes to movies and writing and things like that. And so Patrick C. Taylor is a writer and performer who can be heard as a guest on podcasts like Tell Me More Storytelling and The Sexperts. And he's going to be reading a poem from his unreleased 2013 chapbook, Objects of Affection. Please welcome Patrick C. Taylor.
This poem is from the perspective of a horrible human being. This poem is called This Never Happened. That came a little late. All right, this poem's called This Never Happened. I ran into a spiderweb tonight walking out of your apartment building between a street lamp that wasn't working and some holly bushes I was trying to avoid. I shouldn't have been there at all. I don't even like you that much, but when I went looking for a woman who would keep quiet, you were the best I found. Who am I kidding? You were the first I found. Your face was okay. I don't ask for a lot, and your body was, listen, I like a heavy girl when she's heavy in the right places and you were heavy all wrong. But you'll keep quiet because you have a boyfriend. A boyfriend I don't know the first thing about and I don't want to know. I don't want to know about you. I don't care why you need this or want this or regret this or want more than I'm ever going to give. I don't care that your dad died. I don't know why you told me that. I guess it was interesting that you found him there, but tragedy doesn't make you profound. And even if you are profound, I don't want to know. I wouldn't want to fall in love with you, even if I thought I could. I don't want to hang out with you in a group of friends or by ourselves in any situation where we keep our clothes on. And if it wasn't obvious, I don't want to cuddle. What I need is a girl who comes into existence wanting to fuck when I want to fuck and vanishes the moment we're done, like she was never there, because that wouldn't feel like cheating. Wouldn't feel like cheating at all. You see, all I want is porn that interacts with me, a fantasy that doesn't require imagination, lust directed at me unequivocally that I can dismiss at will, effort that exceeds my own. I don't want you to have a history or feelings, family or friends. I don't want to go see movies or take long walks on that anywhere. And Jesus Christ, I don't want to see pictures of your cat. I just want you to not have an STD or memory or opinions that counter mine or fetish that doesn't work for me. And don't fucking leave scratches on my back. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you tell me I'm starting to have feelings for you? For me? You don't understand how little I think of you, even when I'm inside you, the thing I masturbate into. Everything else about you makes me wish I stayed home. And now I'm at home. Thank God she's asleep. As I throw all my clothes off and take a shower and look myself over in the mirror just to make sure I don't see anything. But as I crawl in next to her, I swear to God, I can still feel the spider webs on my face. And I'm never calling you again. Back. What do you love, Matt Holman?
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed this commercial break from Live Video Interrupted, who is our sponsor for tonight. Please go to livevideointerrupted.com to see more videos that are paused at odd moments. So let's go ahead then and bring up our next poet. So I'm going to go ahead and just kick this off. Real brief explanation about these two poets. So like poems, like Patrick mentioned, I've been writing a poem a day as part of National Poetry Month. These ones are from this month, but not necessarily part of that. This month, I had a really really deep introspective experience listening to this podcast, Dissect, that broke down one of my favorite albums ever, which is Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. And I don't know, it inspired something in me. So I'm going to read two poems that were inspired by my really deep dive into that great album. If you've never heard it, go out and listen to Pimp a Butterfly right after this show. It is fantastic. So this first one is called Grayness. I am not black. I am not white. I exist between the two. I balance on a seesaw that is heavily weighted in one direction by society and by my cultural choices. It didn't used to bother me. I never lost sleep except from late nights in green grass yards, hanging out with my white friends. I never worried about being stopped and shot because I fit a description. It shows my privilege, this shelter of suburbia. There is an inability inside of me to engage with my blackness. What does blackness even mean? I have clear ideas of what blackness is, but these ideas are fueled by stereotypes, music, and myths. I can't trust my brain to speak the truth. Am I supposed to feel a certain way, talk a certain way, walk a certain way? All I am is me, a swirling nova of gray amidst the universe that wants to sort me into night or day. Now, what right do I have to speak about blackness? I'm not sure I do. I'm a house slave. Society defines blackness with poverty, drugs, death, violence, the streets, death, gangs, death, prison, death, and all I see is what's shown to me. Myth, or fact? I don't have the power to tell. I'm no god, I'm no king, I'm no mortal man. Maybe I'm just another poser. No better than Al Jolson singing Mammy. No better than the catchers of Kunta Kinte. No better than someone who's never seen Friday. No better than a poet rhyming a stanza because he thinks that's what a black person would say. For me, blackness is alien and unfamiliar. A butterfly brushing my nose in the twilight that I think is a ghost come to claim my soul, to take me back to the lawns of suburbia where I could be white, supping on a diet of privilege, power, and ignorance. I'm not sure what the point of this was. Maybe to air out some of my anger, alleviate my tired soul of the guilt, tap into something different in me. I wonder if my blackness is a dead thing, just a piece of my life that sits in the corner. No one mentions the corpse or point it out. We just sip the cider and talk about taxes. But in my most shameful moments, I wonder, if my blackness is dead, is that really such a bad thing? So I've got one more to read. Once again, inspired by To Pimp a Butterfly. The final track on that is a epilogue to the story in there. So I'm going to give you a quick epilogue to me. This one's called Lessons. I am black. I am white. I am selfish. I am kind. I am sensitive. I am cold. But actually, all these are wrong. What I am is contrast. Swirling shades of skin, shades of personality, shades of morality, shades of grace, shades of weakness. These shades of self-identity, they do not make me good. They do not make me evil. They make me human. The walls that I think cage me are just the skin of a cocoon. My wings lie beneath, ready to be unfurled and seen. I am caterpillar. I am butterfly. I am neither. I am both. That's it. Thank you.
That was certainly powerful. On what's ostensibly sort of a comedy network, I feel like we're having a lot of laughs. But it's interesting, that idea of sort of like walking between both worlds, and in that way being within neither of them.
Yeah, that is, it's really, like I said, heavily inspired by that album, and that album is all about duality. And the idea that you're not one or the other, that you are both of these things existing at the same time, but you're also neither of these things.
Yeah.
It really spoke to me.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
No problem. Could someone go and introduce the next person? Next poet, please.
Sure. I'll introduce you. I'll introduce the next poet. Our next poet is one of my best friends. She is creative. She's a great writer, hilarious, has a Instagram game show called What Is It? And I'm glad for her to be with us here. Her first time tonight, Candace River Gallmeyer.
Wow, that was a wonderful introduction, John. Thank you. I have 3 poems tonight. I just finished writing one of them. Started writing it on the car ride home. I guess I'll do that one first. This is a poem about being raised as like an only little girl, and just kind of what that can be like when you're in a particular situation where you're an only child, but you're not receiving all of the attention for some reason. Neglect can kill a part of you when you have a little heart. Your little feet walk alone at night when it gets a little dark. You learn to play alone with all the little toys you have. Children are to be seen, not heard, you hear from mom and dad. So watch me do a nosedive. Watch me get straight A's. Watch me hit a home run. Watch me tap and dance ballet. Have you seen me yet? Are you watching? I'm showing all I've got. I just want to be seen by you. Those words I've not forgot. I know both of you are busy. I don't need that much time. Please tell me that you're happy, that your attention is all mine. I'm getting D's in algebra. It's not because it's hard. It's because when I get A's and B's, there's never your reward. I'm skipping school and cursing, getting put into detention. I'm tearing up my clothes. I think I now have your attention. I kissed a man. He gave me drugs. He's only 23. He says I'm real mature for a 13-year-old like me. You're watching now. You've heard my cries. Mom, thanks for tuning in. Watch and listen to the shit show of the situation that I'm in. So that's an angsty 13-year-old's poem. Thank you for that. So my next poem is actually a song that I started writing a long time ago. I met a man who was like new in town, knew some of my mutual friends, and we kind of kicked it off. We got along for a few weeks. We kind of hung out every day for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. I don't know where you've been, and I don't know where you're going, but I hope that you're going to hell. Because that's where you left me, so come back to see me. I'd smile and tell you I'm well. I washed your dirty t-shirt and stowed it away, but I'm sure you wouldn't care for it anyway. Maybe if I buried it in the backyard, you'd finally grow up and do the things that are hardest, like caring about people and sticking around and knowing that people are flawed like yourself. Maybe you'd quit doing drugs and staying up late and always finding a reason to fucking complain. Because I'm great at hellos, but fuck shit at goodbyes. It took writing this song to realize how it feels to feel like the people that I've left behind. You left your glass slipper, but I smashed it into 1,000 pieces. But if you came back, I'd forgive you for 1,000 reasons. Because I'm great at hellos, but fuck shit at goodbyes. It took writing this song to realize how it feels to feel like the people that I left behind. 100 miles from Dallas, you always feel callous. Did it hurt when I broke down your walls? Does it hurt you to reject my calls? Or do you feel anything at all? Does it make you feel strong? To know you're moving along, a vagabond, escaping your wrongs? A new town, a new girl, I'm sure she thinks you're her world, and so you leave again singing this song because you're great at hellos, but fuck shit at goodbyes. I hope you hear this song and it brings tears to your eyes. Did you feel anything when you left me behind? Does this song make you change your mind? Thank you. I have one more. This one's called A Pretty Poem. You should smile more, girl. You'd be a lot more pretty. Pretty pathetic it is that you can't make me grin. Your presence is not impressive. It does not inspire me to lift my chin. Pretty is not my admissions ticket to the public. I do not sublet my body to onlookers, sir. I am not the pretty girl. You mistook her for me. I do not pay in pretty at grocery stores, not at pubs or gas stations, but I have had tribulations that have cost me my pretty. I have been pretty neglected, my consent pretty disrespected. I've been pretty frightened, disenchanted, and unenlightened. I've been bruised and abused. I have been displaced, yelled at, and used. I have been underestimated and ignored, chased, threatened, and soared. Pretty dress, pretty smile. The things he did next were pretty vile. Some spoke my pretty name and pronounced it with shame. They took my pretty outfit and said that I was to blame. Some took my pretty and called it slut or whore. They stole all of my pretty and left me pretty poor. Now I'm all out of pretty except for what I can scrounge up. I have strong instead to keep my chin up. A strong heart, a strong glow, a strong voice to say no, a strong frame, a strong stance to hold me up when I dance, a strong shoulder to cry when others' pretty has run dry. I don't know why, but with pretty, the exchange rate is high. I can afford things with strong I didn't know that I'd missed. I can afford to reflect. I can afford confidence. I can afford to push back. I can pay attention. I can pay my respects to all the pretty thieves that I've mentioned. So if you want pretty from my pockets, it's not what I've got. I've only got strong, and I've got a lot. Thank you.
With pretty, the exchange rate is high. That's a very cool idea right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very, very good.
Yeah. Thanks, Candace. I really did like that last one. Like, I don't pay in pretty. I like that.
The one before that about smashing the glass slipper in pieces, and yet I'd welcome you back for 1,000 reasons. I'm misquoting it, but
yeah. Good job. Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's bring up our next poet. I'll go ahead and introduce our next poet here. Or wait, I don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring up our next poet. He is a good friend of mine. He is one of the founding members of the Ravens Hollow County Players. And you might know him from his exciting turn as Lemonhead in the Lemon If You Dare music video. Please welcome to our stage, John Regan Wharton.
Thank you, Matt. I'm just going to read one poem, and this is me answering the question if someone would say to me, "Hey, John, why do you write?" And then I would say, I don't know. I enjoy putting letters next to each other and creating words, lining them up like puzzle shapes. If you put them in the right order, they capture a picture, like a map, but one you taste with your eyes. You know, picture sounds or thought castles. They can share space and make friends with benefits. Patterns are cool too. Colors don't always have to make sleepy time sense. Let them ride in the back seat if they want. Heck, they know their worth. Keep the windows down. I like a cool wet breeze on my cheeks when I'm trying to stay awake on an open road. God, I love silence. It tastes amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, John Regan Wharton.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and keep this train rolling. John, would you like to introduce our next poet?
I got to call it up. I got to call it up on my screen. Are you there before me?
I could go ahead and introduce since I'm the only one left on camera.
Thank you.
Please welcome. She is a good friend of mine. We met doing improv. She's a fantabulous writer, great poet, coming all the way from Staunton, Virginia. Lauren Hurston. I said Staunton instead of Stanton. Whoops.
Hey, you're definitely not from Stanton, but that's okay. That's fine. Thank Thank you very much for that. So I have 3 poems that I just kind of wrote because I wrote them a while ago, and it's kind of been something that's gotten to me most during the COVID times. And that's being able to leave my house and go different places. So these are all places that are poems about places that I've been to, and I love them. So I'm going right into it. First one's called the Budapest poem. We hear you can poke a stick anywhere in the city ground and find water. Wading in Sesheni Springs, our hair becomes seaweed, our calloused fingers bled white. Sulfates and calciums and fluorides dull the polish on our nails. We stretch and lay our sore muscles wide until she wanders to the mildewed stairs to rest her head and watch the day fade, and I float belly up like a dead woman. We look at the bruised sky pricked by a neo-Baroque steeple. Beyond the lemony Renaissance stucco, where sucky-faced sweeties and hip-handed ladies serenade drippy dawn seniors from the promenade. The Circus Maximus flashes fluorescent signals casting red ribbons on the mirrored pool, and the Ferris wheelers squeal so loud you could hear them under mute waves. Give us a chance. We'd swim like this tonight, tomorrow, every day. Would wash off last night's stolen smoke from boys we barely understood, before they could become other people and we'd become fish. Before water could pour from our mouths, we'd surface from Bekharovka comas, soak in the cells of our ancestors who sucked the minerals through puckered skin, who held the pools in their palms. She emerges from the steps. We pause before drying out and pose like Ariadne before her statue. Tonight, we'll poke the streets, pooling smoke from our lungs until we don't know if we're drowning or tapping another well. So obviously that was about Budapest. This next one is about a crush I had in Ireland. So, and I wrote it for Dolores O'Riordan because I rewrote it after she had died, and that affected me because the Cranberries are one of my favorites. So, okay, here we go. He unpeels a prayer from the cracking wallpaper in the house his great-great-grandpeople built from stones. Speckled moss creeps over the lip of the windowsill. He leads me outside and digs wet soil from beneath his thumbnail, flat as 50p, using the rusted coil of a screw. I split open the dandelion stem. Sap gushed on my fingertips, and I don't make a wish. We walk past the slurry pit. A nettle stings my knuckle. I promise I won't touch it. He stands on the wide gate, yawning, points to the steeple of the church in the town clonus below, his finger under the dip of clouds cupping milky water. I pray to thee, patron saint of clueless farm boys, strengthen me in faith, establish me in virtue, wash me in a tub of your spirit goo. Sorry. Here, the wooden slab where we sit, he eats wet bacon. We crunch on toast and dip our fingers in mugs, fishing the bag from tea water and milk. I separate the ragweeds from the blooms as if I knew the difference. Last one is just from my family's place in upstate New York, which is a farm. It's called Swim the Glen. Remember the air that tastes like iron, and when it settles, you lick it. The cheese curds sweat under the canopy, singing Big Star into our Cabernet. The gorges sing too, I think, or dripping the gargle a shanty. Not a lullaby, not a foamy din, but the swim will wash us back to the glen, with witches and wells. Our own children will play with lakes or loose mattresses, trailing the four-wheelers like fresh kill and riding them. Mown grass stings their shins. You remember getting felt up in hay barns. Not the same hay diddle, but the kids will know that the moon is still low for them. Grandma yells about the sinking porch, and the gorge will teach them of aging, and will sing to them the song of a well, Remember that one, you know it whole, surrounding you like a night swim. Thank you. That's it.
Tub of spirit goo.
Thank you.
I really like the evocative, the sound of the Ferris wheel being heard from underwater. Something about that really placed me there. Yeah, I could almost like feel the vibration of that.
I have to apologize. My pug is right next to me and he's snoring. So in that first one, you probably heard him snoring like.
I thought it was my dog, and I was like looking at him, but I love that first one.
Thank you.
I thought the pug snoring really added a sense of atmosphere to it.
I think that's what I thought the Ferris wheel sound was. That's why.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Lauren.
All right. Next up, our next.
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on 1 second.
Don't forget that you can donate at Earprov to the Push Comedy Theater. I don't even know if we're live anymore, but I'm saying that just in case. So if you are out there, please donate. Yeah, that's what I have right now. So Patrick, would you like to introduce our next poet?
Yes, our next poet is the queen of the Elizabeth River Trail, which I assure you is not something that she calls herself, but she is. If you've ever been on the Elizabeth River Trail, walked it, biked it, whatever, you don't have her solely to thank, but you definitely have her partially to thank. And if you haven't already checked out the Ellen Reed Sound Walk, wonderful experience. From what I've heard, I'm going to do it very soon. Here is Cheryl Snow White.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. It's so interesting. I have this persona of the Elizabeth River Trail, but then I also have this poet that I've been since I was 15. So I am going to read some really
that too.
I'm going to read some angsty poetry for my second chapbook that was published in 2004. So almost 20 years ago. Yeah, so I'll read two from that and then I have a new piece. So this is the title poem for the book, which is Self-Addressed Stamped Envelope. There's no poetic way to put this. I lost my best friend. He might as well have driven off the side of the road or crawled into the mysterious space between couch cushions because he is gone. I mean, he's alive. He could stand in front of me, but he is gone. And there is something hallowed in me now, like a summer melon scooped into balls and placed into a giant watermelon, carved to look like a basket. They can't really be held by that jagged handle. And yet everyone thinks that it's so convenient. I think it's just a ruse, an excuse for grandmothers to be creative with knives. I once carved a pumpkin on my wedding anniversary the year before my divorce was final. It was therapy, a way to fill the void. Because melons are only ripe at certain times of the year, the same way that memories only come back to you on certain occasions like the 4th of July, Christmas, or every other Sunday. Because I always remember on Sundays. Sundays filled with potlucks. I'm no longer at the kiddie table. 10 years have floated away and I feel like singing something in German, something about red balloons and bombs. I feel like duct taping my heart back together with thick pieces I ripped with my teeth. I'll tie loose the strings into little bows, and maybe this way no one will notice that the healthy pink layer is missing. They'll secretly think how feminine of her, how creative. Meanwhile, I'll be pondering foreign boarding schools for the unruly organ. I'll be filling out financial aid paperwork, hoping for grants. I'll be writing a bullshit essay about who in the entire space of history I would like to have dinner with. I'll be self-addressing envelopes, licking stamps with the hopes that no rejection returns via the mailbox. But secretly, I don't think I can count all 99 Luft balloons or successfully rip duct tape with my teeth or pick up the watermelon basket without dropping fresh fruit. And I don't think that boarding schools cater to broken hearts. And I only want to have dinner with my best friend. But he is gone. And it's Sunday. And I think I'll be sitting at the kiddie table one more time, holding my self-addressed stamped envelope, wishing I knew his home address, eating melon and thinking, there's just no poetic way to put all of this. All right. In the theme of some, I think there's a lot of people have been reading poems about maybe some regrettable sexual experiences. I have a poem that I love. I honestly think is the first line's the best line I've ever written. So I'll go for it. This is called Testing. Fucking you was like realizing I just ran a red light. The pit of my stomach dropped between my knees, looking over the shoulder for the authorities, because I never attended Sunday school. I've never been told about the temptation of flesh. I hear it's on the lesson plan, but I skipped the class and went straight for the test. Filling in bubbles, abracadabra, number 2 pencils, I have yet to see Havana or Paris or Rome. My love life, a geography exam, trying to find my way home somewhere between these one-night stands. Running street lights and stop signs, choosing the letter C, crossing double lines and using my body haphazardly. Because at 5 a.m., I don't believe in love or adultery. So I pick none of the above and let this night, this morning be. I'll let it be as it has always been. Just one moment between good friends. And tomorrow's test will be the same, different questions, different names, but I pledge my honor to the few rules of this game. Rule number 1, never fall for a man. Rule number 2, never give up your hand, because rings have a way of constricting my movement, and gold is a hard element to circumvent. It slips around my ankles and binds me. It forms blinders, making it impossible to see any way out. I must go. I need constant motion. If I could, I would drive into the ocean. Let the tides take me, waves overcome me like orgasms. I will drift across the earth's chasms, rhythms rocking me like your hips, and water lapping my legs like lips, trying to look on your answer sheet for truth, for tips. And I can validate this cheating as long as the rules are not broken in our chance meeting. Or you could pull out and I could pull away, realizing that the test is over and we had nothing left to say. So, you see, I've stopped at this red light before, waited around to hear how much I was adored, but today I'm accelerating on through. No discs, no drums, no brake shoes. I could fall in love in just one beat. A click of your Zippo, the tap of your feet, but I gotta go to bed early. And I don't mean with you. The test I must take will be here real soon, and baby, because I play by all the rules, I have nothing here to give or to lose. And the last poem is very recent. I've just titled my poems dates, so this is very short. April 7th, 21. Last year was not the best for birthdays. Driveway hangouts with your folks were a far cry from crowded family dinner tables and dance parties to Stevie Wonder that you so loved. There was no delicious 3-tiered chocolate cake made by your sister and topped with so many candles that they were halfway melted before you could even make a wish. Last year didn't include candles, but you made a wish to be somewhere else this year, to make a big production of your birthday. Take the whole week off. Wake up in a different area code or time zone. Really celebrate yourself. And I hope you are. Meanwhile, I booked a plane ticket to another state for your birthday. If I can't be with you, I'm gonna live the life you wanted. Act out all your birthday dreams and wishes. I'll bring along the part of you that you told me to never forget. The part of you that you forgot or never really knew. Like the way you'll never know how it feels to hold my hand during takeoff or lift my luggage into a trunk when collecting me from a trip. You'll never drive up a mountain with me or see me in the glow of a French Riviera sunset. But I will. And part of me does this because I know why you had to choose a different path. So on your birthday, I will leave you breadcrumbs made from the same Chelsea Bakehouse flour I once left on your doorstep during a quarantine. I'm lighting luminaries, blazing trails. So one day, when this is all over, you'll know where to find yourself, and it will be a firework-worthy celebration. Thanks.
Cheryl, I always appreciate the momentum of your poetry.
Yeah.
Like running a red light. And the duct tape in your teeth, between your teeth, all over your heart and all that.
How old were you when you wrote that first one?
2004, so
Is it-
about
is it
17 years ago.
Is it okay
I
for me
was
to
in my
ask that?
20s. I was like
Yeah.
24, maybe.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
it was, I didn't mean to put you on the spot that
No,
way. but
I
it was
mean
awesome.
it's a great poem. It's about a friend of kind of, addiction is real, and you lose people that way, and
Yeah.
sometimes they can come back to you, but
Yeah.
a lot of times they aren't the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that Lauren's pug again?
That's
No.
my dog. I got to mute myself.
Okay. So let's go ahead then and welcome our final poet for this evening. You know him from many an open mic night at the venue on 35th, which he hosts, as well as hosting them online now that we're doing this for this pandemic. He is a fabulous poet and I consider a good friend. I don't know how he feels about me. Let's welcome to the stage, George Mendez.
Thanks, Matt. I totally consider you a friend.
Awesome.
Happy National Poetry Month, everyone, or what's left of it. We're down to the last day. So poems and shit. Okay. So just like Matt, I've been writing a poem a day for the month of April. I've been following the Verb Benders poetry prompts. So we'll do a few of those and then I'll read something from the book. So this was day 4. The prompt was to write a poem based around a fun fact. Fun fact: a cockroach can live for up to a week after it's been decapitated because its brain does not control its breathing and its blood doesn't carry oxygen throughout its body like a human's does. Eventually, the roach will die due to starvation, since the one thing it actually needs its head for is to eat. I say all that to say, when we start to eat the rich, don't be alarmed if they're still moving. Let's see. This one is day 9. It was write a poem about a color without mentioning the color. With a sip of Earl, I become reserved. calm. The clouds roll in, subdued, resolute, impartial. My memory, an elephant, a crossbreed between two neutrals, neither dark nor bright, unpolished, never to feel the luster of silver, only the frailty of ash and cinder. The mass between my ears aches with indecision while the earworm sings, stuck in the middle with you. The sky yawns in boredom, pours itself onto the sidewalk with indifference. Age doesn't wash away. We are neither right or wrong, but the tombstones beg to differ. Let's see, what's next? Day 13. This was write a poem in the form of a Yelp review. Upon my arrival, I originally thought, wow, what a beautiful place. Spacious skies, amber waves of grain, purple mountains, majesty, fruited plains. I mean, just lovely. I thought, now here's a place where truths are self-evident. But I must say, it's not quite the land of opportunity it's cracked up to be. Look around. The infrastructure and the power grid are a logistical nightmare. There is somehow a problem with both homelessness and abandoned buildings. Everyone is sick, but no one can afford medicine. Police murder unarmed citizens with reckless impunity. The educational systems are out of date and failing miserably. Equality is all but non-existent. There are literally more guns than people. And even though there's a mass shooting literally every day, the leadership does absolutely nothing about it. There is, however, an overabundance of thoughts and prayers. I'm told I could protest, but then my protest gets criticized. I tried to complain to the proper authorities, but was quickly met with a, well, if you don't like it, you can just leave. How's that for 50-star service? I expected more from the greatest country in the world. What a shithole. America. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. And I guess I'll close with this. This is called The Nature of Things. So I think that deep down, most hammers would much rather be pillows, preferring to rest a head than to strike one. I have a rough time believing that sandpaper wouldn't prefer to be satin, you see. I think some of us act harder than we need to, simply because we haven't been presented with the options. Given a choice, I'd like to think that any barrier would much rather be a gate swung wide open like arms that haven't seen you in years, saying, come on in, welcome home, you made it. So here's to every wish that drowned because its penny couldn't swim. For every rainbow that ever bent over backwards, reaching for the sun every time the sky cried, and for any shamrock that perished with its wishes, still trapped within its 4 leaves, cut down prematurely by a lawnmower blade, whose only wish was to be a sprinkler head instead. See, this is for being better than our nature, for going outside of our means of becoming more than what we were made for. This is for the understanding that sometimes a crowbar just needs to be a key, and sometimes a lock needs to just not exist anymore. Trust me, there are pebbles that dream of being boulders and boulders that dream of being feathers. Somewhere there's a puddle with ocean aspirations. And today, maybe today he's just a puddle, but tomorrow he'll be a pond. And the day after that, a creek, then a brook, then a stream, and then a lake, and then a river, and then finally that ocean that will one day become the raindrops on a 4-year-old's nose who's jumping into a puddle, pretending to be a giant, splashing in an ocean. everything is cyclical. So here's to the nature of things, to the cycle of order, and to the knowledge that all things have a purpose beyond their purpose, especially you. Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Every wish that's drowned because its penny couldn't swim.
Yeah, I like that. Was good. And I really like the first line about hammer and pillow. Like that, just the pictures that paints in your head, like a hammer and then a pillow.
There's a lot I liked what was going on there.
Yeah, thank you, George, for
the rich.
Thank you, guys.
Remember, everybody.
All right. Thank you to all of our poets. If you are listening out there, thank you for watching.
Hey, should we get our poets back out here?
Everybody, let's do it.
Hold on real quick before we get the poets back out here. I got some things I want to say. So it isn't an improv show unless Matt Holman talks when no one wants him to talk. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that has supported these live streams, everyone that has watched, everyone that has shared, everyone that has performed in this. I don't know about you guys, but this has kept my relative sanity over the past year. I don't know where I'd be right now if it wasn't for the doing the drunk prov shows and getting to tune into Sober Saturdays that John hosts and getting
duality
and getting to do what's it called and getting to do Master Debaters with Patrick and getting to reunite and perform with people from all across the country. And so I guess I really just kind of want to say thank you to Matt, thank you to Brian for putting this together and putting so much of your blood, sweat, tears, time, money, passion into doing this. Yeah, I just wanted to put that on the record before we left. And so yeah.
So many of my happiest and certainly most social experiences over the last year have been thanks to this.
Definitely.
Thank you so much to them. And thank you to our poets who should bring their cameras back up now.
Boom, that's the hosting mojo right there, Patrick.
Segue!
You see that segue? That was so smooth.
Oh, look at all these wonderful poets. I was very impressed. This may have been the best night we had.
Yeah.
Tonight was good.
And not just because of our patron saint of the Poetry Takeover, Reggie the Pug.
Poets, do you have anything that you would like to plug while we have you out here?
Yeah, I do.
Well, then go ahead, Candace Gallmeyer.
And this is when you say what it is.
Bring it with confidence, Candace.
But did you guys want to know what it is?
Yeah, Candace.
What is it?
Oh my God.
What is it?
I fell for that.
What is it? Well, it's What Is It, which is an Instagram story game show that I host every Wednesday or whenever I feel like it on my Instagram page. If you follow What Is It Game Show on Instagram, tune into your stories because if you see me pop up, it's probably going to be a good time. It's an Instagram story game show where you have an opportunity to guess according to 5 images that are either zoomed in, blurry, or both, what those objects are. Winning prize is bragging rights for an entire week, and you also get entered into a spreadsheet, which I have been compiling since the very beginning of quarantine. So it's just a fun, goofy time. It's an opportunity for me to be a sassy game show host that roasts all of the wrong answers and champions the right answers. So definitely give me a follow because every so often I will just get a stray hair and have a good time. So follow What Is It Game Show. on
Candace, your
Instagram.
pizzazz is unmatchable.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Candace.
And
George, I thought
don't you have
Yeah.
a wonderful kind of Zoomcast of your own, don't you?
Yeah, right now we're probably coming up on the last few of those. We hope to be coming back live to the venue by the end of May, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Things are going to be done a little bit differently. It's not just going to be completely open to the public. We're going to do it by reservations at first for a while,
makes sense.
just so we can keep our capacity under control. Masks, hand sanitizers, all that good stuff. But for now, we are still virtual and we're online. Matt Cole is kind enough to put the flyer with all the Zoom information up before all of the Earprov events, which we appreciate highly. And this coming Wednesday, the Verbbenders, which is Hampton Roads local poetry team, will be doing their virtual poetry slams. I'll be judging in that. And then on Saturday, May 8th, I'll be performing virtually for the Book Lovers series for the Poet Laureate of Richmond, Roscoe Burnham's. Really excited.
Nice.
Looking forward to
That's
that.
cool. Yeah.
That's about it for now.
All right.
Thanks again for having me, you guys. I appreciate you guys doing this. Hopefully, you guys maybe do poetry takeovers live when Push opens back up. I'd love to be a part of that.
Wow,
Oh,
that would be cool.
That
That's a good
that
idea.
would be great. Yeah. You all will be the first numbers on our speed dial. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not Ellen and Lord because they both live far away.
They
But
might
if you guys
move-
want to come,
They might move here for the poetry takeover. People have followed their passions before, Matt.
yeah. Oh, I have a plug actually. I have a poetry blog, poetryoverdose.com. You can check it out. It's got a sweet logo.
Sweet. And you've been writing a poem a
Tuesday,
day.
Check out the May the 4th comedy show out at the Plot at Push Comedy Theater.
Oh, yes. May the Force be with you. It is going to be a Star Wars themed comedy show out of the Push Comedy Theater. Also, there's a show this Saturday, or is it Friday? That's Good Talk. Brad McBurn's bringing back his award-winning one-man show. And so I think that's it for plugs.
Do you have anything, Cheryl, you want to share?
Nah, just you guys, thanks for hosting this. And George and so many other folks, Matt Cole, Brian Garrity, for all the stuff that Earprov has done the last year. I love it. I'm really glad that we had it. Also can't wait to be on a stage again. So
Yeah,
I think all of us
yeah.
are. So thanks for doing what you do, and hit me up next pandemic.
Cool.
Hit you. There we go. We'll hit you up
Looking
next
forward to
pandemic. I like
Your
that. I
girl.
like that a lot. All right, let's go ahead then.
Hey,
And
guess who it is?
it's you, Matt Cole.
It's me, Matt Cole. Yeah,
You back?
yeah,
Glad to
I'm
see you.
back. It's
Oh my
me,
God.
masculine
That's
Matt
not-
Cole.
That's not you.
Yeah, it's me, masculine Matt Cole. Hey, thank you guys so much. Sorry about the technical difficulties tonight. You guys were wonderful. Thank you so much to Matt Holman and Patrick C. Taylor and John Regan Wharton. These guys are awesome. Thank you. A round of applause to y'all. Also, a big round of applause to all the poets tonight. Thank you. This is wonderful. I know this isn't necessarily comedy or improv or anything like that, but it was great to have you guys. And since it's the last poetry show, thank you. And have a good night. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye, Mom. See you.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Are we still live?
Yeah,
Don't do that.
it's just a picture. It's just this picture.
Oh God.